Okay, in this session, we'll talk about Google Colabs. So far we've used these interactive coding cells in the browser. They work really nicely, and you can, experiment here and work on it during the class. But this is not gonna get you very far. And one of the most easy features to get started quickly with coding is using these Google Colab notebooks that are very well set up, and you can more or less start professional coding, data science coding very, very quickly without having to worry about the ins and outs of Python setup and stuff like that. So let's get straight to it and open a Colab notebook. And this is how it's going to look like. Maybe the style will be different. You can, if you click here on the settings, the first thing you can do is you can change it to light or dark style. I like dark, so I'll keep it at dark. Um, then another thing you should probably do very quickly is save a copy of that notebook to your drive. And in that way, you'll have whatever you do and work with, you have it saved on your local drive. Don't worry, whatever you change here in the unsaved version, nothing will be pushed back. So whatever you do here is transient, and you can't ruin everything. But it's always good to have a copy in your own Google Drive. You will need a Google account, but you'll have that automatically through the university. So if you sign in through with your university login, you should get a Google account like that. Um, this may sound look a bit weird for you, but it's quite easy to learn. And this notebook is actually a notebook about notebooks, so it'll explain you how to work with notebook. And I encourage you to read through this. We won't go through every detail here now. I just mention a few important things. And one of the first things I would encourage you to do is, again, if you go back to settings and then you go to AI assistance, make sure that you have in the beginning the AI tools unclicked. I don't want to prevent you from using AI tools. They're really useful, but in the beginning, it's better to have a chatbot next to it, and you can ask them questions and you can show them problems and things like that. But in your actual coding environment, it's more disturbing and interfering for you than helpful. And it will not teach you anything straight away. So I would turn that off. And when you become more comfortable and you write your own scripts, then it's very useful to have these auto-generative coding tools with you. Um, the most important thing to understand about this is that there's two types of cells. So the notebook is broken into individual cells, and there's one type is called a markdown cell. This is this one, and there you can store text in markdown format. So markdown is a very simple formatting language where you just use hashtags to set titles at different levels. You can use lists, you can make things bold. You don't need to understand that, but this is useful to simply write text, to explain things, to remember things, to write a little bit more detail. And you can use this. It's quite useful to learn these markdown tricks to make that formatting look nice. The other cell, and this is really what you're going to work with more, is proper coding cells. And here we use the hash to write comments. So this is not seen by the interpreter and will not be executed as code. So here again, you can write yourself reminders, say what you're doing here, and whatever you write without an hashtag will be interpreted as code and needs to be formatted correctly. So if you make a mistake here, it will complain. And to run that, you can simply press here. Initially, you get a warning, and it's going to take a little bit of time to start up the kernel, but with relatively quickly this will be executed, and you can see the output straight away at the bottom of the cell. You can add a new cell below or above, or you can add a new text cell below or above. So in this way you can change things very quickly, execute things very quickly. There's a lot of keyboard shortcuts and things like that. I would encourage you to, the more you work with this, the more you will get familiar and will get comfortable with it. But I think this is more or less what I have to say on Google Colab notebooks. So open the link, save here, file save as a copy in the drive, then work on that copy, and whatever you do then will be saved and you can see what you've done. But if you break something and you don't understand, you can always come back here or start another window with a new notebook that will guide you back to the original. Okay. Yeah, that's it for Colab notebooks. Have fun reading this, and this will be your tool, so you will get very familiar with Colab features and Colab workflows very quickly.